In this video I'll build a very crude car to show how the modeler works in Live for Speed. Now, a lot of people who want to make a model may want to make it in their favourite modelling software, and you can if you can export an obj file, because you can load an obj into Live for Speed. But I'm going to show you how to build one using our modeler. So first you have a look at the forward direction there, and we're going to start by adding a point. In point mode, new point, and I'm just going to build a sort of cross section of a car here. So I can see the coordinates of this point, and I'll go into right hand view by pressing R, and I can duplicate this point, duplicate it again. I'm duplicating and moving the points just to create a rough car shape. Now, as you can see, I can type in its height value to make sure it's at 0 height. I'll duplicate this one. Okay, so there's a rough car shape. It's just, if you hold Control and click a second point, you can select more than one point at a time. I think we'll just put 2 of them here. Okay, now if I press P and go back to three-dimensional view, you can see that cross section of a car. So what I'm going to do is use an extrusion function to make it into a three-dimensional model. So what we can do is turn on this trace function, and if I select this as the first point, and I'm going to hold Control, and I'm just going to follow round all the points like this. So you see that trace. Now I'll click Extrude, and you notice there's a red line at the bottom and there's an orange line around, and we want the orange part. So I'm going to click Extrude, and I'll say orange outside, because I want to see the outside of this object. So let's do that. Extrusion, right. So it's done, and we need to move these points because, as you see, it's turned it into an object. Now I want this car to be 1.6 meters wide, so I'm going to type in 0.8 here. Okay. Right. Now another thing I'm going to do is go to the top view. I'm just going to select these center points. I'm doing that with the right mouse button. So I've selected the center points, and I'm going to set them as center. If I go in 3D mode, which is P, press C to clear my selections. You can see they're yellow. I'll make them a bit bigger. Okay. Now all these triangles are on one side of the car. Now we've got a special function in LFS. You can build on one side and it's automatically reflected to the other side. So we turn on triangle mode. I'll press A to select them all, and here I'll click mirror. So it's mirrored them all to that side. Now let's build the wheel arches. I'm going to select this point that's at ground level. I'll duplicate it. I'll move it back to 1.15, duplicate that, move the new point to 1.5 meters, and I'm going to select both of them, duplicate both of them, and I'm going to move them in Okay. Now I'm going to do a lathe operation. I'll clear the points and I'm going to select them, and I'm going to reproduce this orange bit in a half cylinder shape. So we'll type, and I want to, and the axis of rotation is this to the right. So I'm going into right view, I'll select lathe, and to do 180 degrees, and I'll choose 7 steps. And we want the orange and inside. Okay, and there is wheel arch. I'm going to copy that. Well, I need to go in triangles mode. Duplicate these triangles. If you ever duplicate triangles, you really need to move them. Let's turn off the trace. Okay, I want to select this middle one so that I can set the forward to -1.15. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to look a bit more like a car. Now these triangles, you may notice, they're not mirrored over to the left. So let's select them. I selected the points by mistake. Well, I can select connected triangles and mirror them. Okay. Now we need to fill in the side of this car. So we do that by manually building triangles. So what you'll see here, if I select, now what I want is auto mirror. So every triangle I build on this side will automatically be on the other side. Now that's one triangle built. By selecting 3 points, I can build another triangle. Now we can do this more quickly by using the control key. If I hold control now, carry on, I can go in this fan direction like this. Now as you see, there's smoothing around here, but I don't want it to do smoothing. So we're going to use a new smoothing group. So I'm going to select these triangles, and if I go in groups mode, you'll see I've got the option here at the top right, new group. Okay, and now you'll see the lighting is different on this side. So we've got to carry on building for a while. Let's make sure they're in the right group. Oh no, they're not. Okay, I didn't select the right groups. That's okay. Let's just put them in group 2. Okay. So now we've got to carry on building. But what I can do is, to make sure I've got the right group, hold Shift, and click one of the triangles that's the same, and that will get the right properties. Let's have a look around this vehicle, or this model, see what it looks like. It's a bit too bright, so let's just turn down that colour. Let's also make a dark colour for the wheel arches. So I'll duplicate this colour. It's calling it a mapping. That's because you'll see in another video each mapping has a colour. So we could select, we're in the wrong mode, let's triangle mode. Select those, put them into colour dark, these ones in the colour dark. We we should actually make it quite dark. And these ones also should be in dark. And there's a good function called, which is Control and Shift together. That does a flood select of related triangles and select them to dark, dark. Okay, so how are we looking in view mode? Well, that's a sort of car-shaped object. Let's select these vertices at the top right, move them in a bit, make the car look a little bit better. And if we go back to groups mode, we'll put these into a different smoothing group. And finally we'll see how it looks again. And also you can move the light around by holding Control. Yeah, we need some more smoothing groups for the windows. Let's have a look. We'll put them in a new group. And these ones at the back also in that new group we made. There we go. And that will do until we try putting some textures on it in another video.